December 3rd, 2021. On that day, my grandmother, Mary Hurd, passed away after living with Alzheimer's for almost a decade. For those of you who don't know, Alzheimer's is a disease characterized by the degradation of one's brain, causing them to lose memories, motor functions, and even their lives. As with most cases, my grandma started by forgetting the names and faces of those closest to her, which included my entire family. During those final years, my siblings and I would visit her at the nursing home every so often, but where we were once met with comfort, we found only a blank, hollowed expression and deep, unmoving eyes. In a sense, you could say that my siblings and I gradually became strangers to her, virtually unrecognizable amongst the sea of faces that came to the nursing home every day. While it's true that I still have some memories of her before her diagnosis, those have been far outweighed by my most recent experiences, which were filled with this dreadful silence. I grew to loathe visiting her because of this feeling, and instead of actively fighting it by trying to remember the good times we shared, I just distanced myself almost entirely. Then, at her funeral, as I sat there and listened to all these stories and memories of her told by friends and family, something dawned on me. You see, in a sort of sick and twisted way, she had kind of become a stranger to me too. And it didn't sit right with me. I knew that nothing I could do could change that fact, but I figured there was still time to avoid it when it came time for my other grandparents to pass. So on that day, December 3rd, 2021, I decided that I would eventually sit down with all of my remaining grandparents, ask them about their lives, and record it so that they would never become strangers to me. And well, here's what they had to say. I was always hoping that I'd just drive off a cliff on my motorcycle just a couple days or weeks before the doctor tells me I have terminal pancreatic cancer. I don't want to go through a long, painful death like your grandma Heard went through. So, when you're old, you just don't know. Do I have 10 years or 10 days? Maybe 10 weeks. I'm getting to the end of that curve. So, you just gotta go to church, keep your peace, and do the right thing. Because that time is coming. I think it's inevitable. I know people who are older than me who are just waiting for it. They're not afraid to die. I think people who fear their deaths have worse deaths. It's traumatic for them and their family. I've seen people who've welcomed death, and it was much more serene. There are people who are terrified of death. I've seen that too. They go into it the last days they have, and their families can't console them. It's never pretty. That's why I'm not afraid to die. Well, I've done some research, and I'm about 100% sure that everybody dies. So, with that in mind, why I'm 78 years old, so I think about that sometimes. How am I going to leave my kids, my grandkids, the people that I know? It was brought home to me when my wife passed away last December. Do the best we can while we can, and hope everything works out. I believe in life after death, so I'm not terribly worried about dying. It'll happen whether you want it to or not. It's only a matter of when.